Memoirs of Charles James Yellowplush, sometime footman in many genteel families. Chapter 5. My debut in society. In a previous chapter, I described how I earned a substantial sum from my novel, The Besmirched Escutcheon, which I duly invested. However, I deemed it politic to leave the service of the Duke of Diddlesex, whose family I had depicted all too vividly in my book. And so I accepted a post as head footman in the household of Sir George Flimsy, a banker in the city with the house of Flimsy, Diddler and Flash. The next stage in my tale can best be explained by recounting a conversation I had one morning with Sir George over breakfast, after I'd been in his service some while. May I offer you some more kedgeree, Sir George?
No, thank you, Charles. I've had sufficient.
Then I wondered if I might have a word with you, Sir George, before you depart for the city.
Certainly. But I've only a limited amount of time.
Oh, I appreciate that, Sir George, but I've received some news from my bankers, Greedy and Sharp.
Greedy and Sharp, but they're...
They're a reputable firm, aren't they, Sir George?
Yes, of course. But you're saying they're your bankers?
Indeed. And they tell me that my holdings with them are now worth £30,000.
£30,000? But I'm only paying you 20 guineas a year. How could you possibly have that sort of money?
Well, it's a long story, Sir George.
I'd imagine it is.
You see, I started out with a small windfall, and ever since I've been following the financial papers and my own instincts.
But you have no financial background, no insider knowledge, no...
Well, possibly not, but I drew my inspiration from the example set by some of my previous employers, all of whom were betting gentlemen.
But investment is not the same thing as gambling, Charles.
Well, maybe not, but there are considerable similarities. A certain recklessness and a certain coolness of nerve are required. Anyway, I've recently been speculating in the rising interest in investment in foreign loans.
You're onto that?
Oh, yes, Sir George. And so, with due respect, I think I would like to retire from service as soon as you can find an appropriate replacement.
£30,000, you've said?
Yes, Sir George.
Sit down, Charles, and have some kedgeree. I am sure the house of Flimsy, Diddler and Flash will be happy to be of service to you in any way it can. My daughters, as you may have noticed, are also very attractive girls.
So now you understand that I am about to describe the momentous chapter of my life in which I left servitude and became a man of substance. There was only one slight cloud in the azure sky shining above me. Mary Ann.
Hello, Charles.
Hello, Mary Ann.
I heard your wonderful news.
Mary Ann remained in the service of the Duke of Diddlesex, but we still met up occasionally. In retrospect, our ensuing interview was not perhaps my finest hour.
You've left the service of Sir George, I hear.
Yes, I'm moving into a first-floor apartment in the Albany. The dining room furniture is all oak, British oak.
I'm sure it's very grand.
There's a round, expanding table. Works like a trick in a pantomime. It opens out so that it can accommodate any number from 8 to 24.
24 is quite a big supper party.
Well, not if you compare it with the Duke's. I don't want to get ideas too far above my station.
That's wise
And
of
the
you,
carpet
Charles.
is Axminster, embroidered with tulips, and the chairs are covered in yellow satin. I've taken advice on all of this.
Sure, it looks very splendid.
Yeah.
I don't suppose your old friends will fit into your new life very well. All the same, I wanted to tell you that I'm leaving the Duke's service.
Or wherever you go to work, I shall always remember you with affection, Mary Ann. And I bought you some flowers.
Oh, Charles, they're beautiful.
That's just to show I've not forgotten how you helped me. But
This is goodbye, Charles. I understand. A whole fashionable world awaits you.
it's what I've always dreamed of. I always thought that given the chance, I'd be a better gentleman than most of the masters I've served. And I need to do it on my own.
I'll always think of you as you were in your yellow plush coat, Charles.
But where I'm going, fortunately, the people I meet won't. My Albany apartment was soon completely and chastely furnished in the height of Bon goût. The bedroom was the gem, the bed white and gold with curtains of pink and silver brocade held up atop by a gold cupid who was always smiling angelically down at me. I changed my name to De la Pluche as more appropriate to my new status. And I acquired a manservant of my own. Now, remind me, what's your name?
I'm a Charles, sir.
Oh, no, that won't do at all. You'll have to be a James. Is that clear, James?
Very clear, Mr. de la Pluche. James I am. I'll make sure everyone knows.
I don't want to give the impression that my new life was entirely a life of pleasure. For example, I had to attend the opera, because that is what fashionable folk do. It was a bitter ordeal, but I strove valiantly to hide my yawns. Because of my perceived financial expertise, I was also required to sit on the board of a number of companies where I gained useful information for subsequent speculation. To be honest, I often understood very little of what was said, but because I said little myself, I was regarded as a very sly and knowledgeable cove. It's a habit I learned from the Honourable Mr. Deuceace, one of the greatest rogues unhung. On the other hand, I enjoyed riding my bay horse, Desperation, in the park. Though sometimes, Desperation had a habit of running away with me.
Whoa there, boy! Whoa! Desperation! Whoa! Can you hear me? Whoa, boy! Oh!
Can I be of assistance?
Oh, no, I'm fine. Oh!
Dear me! You nearly fell off then. The horse is a little frisky.
He's not normally like this. Oh!
I can see he's a good horse. He just needs a firm hand. What's his name?
Desperation.
Whoa, boy. Whoa there, Desperation.
And the moment the fair damsel spoke, Desperation slowed down. And believe me, she was a fair damsel.
Oh, thank you, Mum. Thank you.
My pleasure. We couldn't have you falling off now, could we?
Mum, may I...
But the lovely creature, clearly of aristocratic blood, galloped off without another word. She had calmed my steed, but at the same time agitated my heart.
You make a bow. The lady makes a curtsy.
I also enjoyed my dancing lessons. From 6 to 9, we had waltzes and polkas. And then at 9, we did deportment. How to bow, how to enter a room, how to leave a room, and how to congratulate your host and hostess.
Your Grace, I'm honoured, truly honoured. I am delighted to make your acquaintance. But what inclement weather for the time of year, don't you think?
It can therefore be imagined with what high expectation I made my entree at the first ball since my elevation to the moneyed classes. I was the cynosure of all eyes. Sir George Flimsy was there, waiting to pounce with his 3 great ugly daughters in tow. But I went straight over to my excellent friend, John George Godfrey de Bullion Thistlewood, Earl of Bareacres, who I'd had the privilege of encountering asleep at many a boardroom meeting.
Ah, there you are, de la Pluche. Looking remarkably elegant, if I may say so.
Thank you, my lord. I fancy my toilette is sufficiently comme il faut for such a glittering gathering.
Indeed, de la Pluche. Now, I don't believe you've met my daughter, Lady Angelina Thistlewood.
Oh, I don't believe I have, Lady Angelina. The Lady Angelina was none other than the fair damsel from the park.
So, we meet again, Mr. de la Pluche.
The pleasure is all mine, Lady Angelina.
So, you've met before?
Yes, Father, in the park. I was able to give Mr. de la Pluche some assistance in handling his horse.
Which has behaved like an angel ever since.
Well, if you've met before, I shall leave you to get better acquainted.
As a matter of fact, I have often heard of you from another source as well.
Oh. Who has mentioned my insignificant existence to the fair Lady Angelina?
A very old friend of yours.
And who might that be, if I can be so bold?
Marianne Hoggins.
Marianne? But how?
She's my maid now, and quite the best I've ever had. I fear you have not treated her well, Mr. de la Pluche.
Well, I gave her flowers upon parting. We now move very much in different spheres of life.
But I trust I may give her your best wishes?
Yes, of course. But it is with you, Lady Angelina, that I wish to pursue the acquaintance. Ever since I first saw you in the park, you have haunted my dreams.
I do hope I'm not interrupting.
Not at all, Captain.
The gentleman who had intruded himself upon our intimate tete-a-tete was whiskered and uniformed.
Mr. Delapluche, may I present Captain George Silvertop?
Oh, I'm pleased to make your acquaintance, Captain.
And are yours? You're the fellow who just got rich quick, aren't you?
I am indeed, but a recent entrant into these august circles.
Wish I had just a fraction of your wealth. Solve all my problems. Still, delightful to meet you. Lady Angelina, I wonder if I might have the pleasure of the next waltz.
But of course, I should be delighted. Will you excuse us, Mr. Delapluche?
Well, as a matter of fact, I was on the point of asking...
Oh, no doubt there'll be another occasion. In the meantime, I shall send your best wishes to dear Marianne. Captain.
Lady Angelina.
I watched Lady Angelina as she glided round the gilded ballroom. She was a vision of aristocratic loveliness, and I realised that it was my greatest wish to have her as my bride. But I was not such a fool as not to know that a great deal of wooing needed to be done first. I had read many books upon the etiquette of romance, and I knew that one of my first acts must be to write a poem to Lady Angelina, get it published anonymously in a literary journal, and then make sure she found out it was I who had penned the effusion in question. But despite my skills as a novelist, the creation of an ode did not come that easily. Around me they flatter and fawn, the young and the old, the fairest are ready to pawn their hearts for my gold. In this, I was referring to the Mrs. Flimsy, who, though hardly the fairest, seemed all too ready to pawn their hearts. They sue me, I laugh as I spurn the slaves at my knee, but in faith and in fondness I turn unto thee, unto thee. I fancy whatever else may have been at fault in my verses, that final repetition had the quality which made Lord Byron so admired of the ladies. With the superscription to Lady A.T., it duly appeared in the Season's Poetical Gems, Volume 13. Strangely enough, despite my broadest hints, Lady Angelina never gave any sign that she had ever read it. But fortunately, I had other occasion to be near the delectable Angelina, because her father, the Earl, invited me down to Bearacres Castle. Now, it was common knowledge that the Earl and his estate were mortgaged to the hilt, and I was fly enough to know that it was my money he was interested in, not my fine features. But if his interest allowed me to be near his beautiful daughter, who was I to say no? I was invited to join a shooting party. Unfortunately, the impecunious Captain Silvertop was also invited.
Well done there, Delapluche.
Thank you, Captain.
I congratulate you on your impressive aim. I'd rather fancied you were a novice.
Well, I've had a little experience. In fact, I've been taking lessons, and it's
I'm
been
sure you have. There's only one problem, old fellow. You're supposed to shoot at the pheasant. That was a cow you've just hit.
Despite the captain's boorish behaviour, I was an honoured guest of the Earl, and the Earl was charm itself for the reasons I have already suggested. And to sugarcoat our friendship, I entered into negotiations to purchase from him a small piece of land of about 100 acres called Squallop Hill.
Of course, the thing about Squallop Hill is that it is particularly advantageous for the breeding of sheep.
Indeed.
It's something to do with the thistles that grow there. It gives the meat a remarkably fine flavour.
Is that so?
Oh, yes. Nothing like Squallop Hill now. Now, of course, the principal pleasure of your purchase is that I shall have you as a close neighbour.
Of course. As a matter of fact, not being a fool, I knew I was paying far more for this land than it was worth, 50 times or more. Indeed, this was not the first time I had sent money the way of the Earl of Bearacres under various plausible circumstances of his making. But it was all part of my master plan to be close to the Lady Angelina. Sadly, I found few opportunities to see her alone. but I did encounter someone else alone.
Oh, goodness, I'm so sorry. Oh, it's such a shock to see you, even though I knew you were here.
I'm sorry if I startled you. Here, let me help you pick up the pieces. You're looking very well, Marianne. And may I say, rather elegant.
Oh, this is one of Lady Angelina's old gowns. She gave it to me. She's a very generous mistress.
So you're happy here?
Yes, but...
But?
You're looking quite the gentleman. Not sure I would have recognised you in all your finery.
No, I have a position in life to maintain, Marianne.
Of course. James was saying...
Well, which James would that be, Marianne?
Why, you're James, Charles. I mean, sir.
Oh, you may still call me Charles, if you wish.
That's very kind of you, sir. Charles.
So, what exactly does my James have to say for himself?
Oh, he's told me all about the life you lead. The operas, the dinners, the riding. He's a very agreeable young man, is James, and most attentive.
I trust he's not paying you unwanted attentions, Marianne.
Oh, no. He's not doing anything unwanted.
I see. Well, be careful, Marianne. You know what a young footman can be like.
I can remember what you were like. There, I think that's all the pieces. Thank you for your help, sir. Charles, I should be going. Lady Angelina will be wondering where I am.
I would not be human if I did not admit to a certain frisson of regret as she walked away. But my heart was fixed elsewhere, and the next day I took the momentous step of talking to her father.
My dear Mr. Delapluge, you have my warmest wishes and, of course, my approval to proceed.
Thank you, Your Grace. I'm honoured.
But a word of advice. You must break the matter gently to her, because I'm not quite certain about Lady Angelina's feelings.
What do you mean, Your Grace?
Well, girls are wild and romantic. They do not see the necessity of prudent establishments, and I have never yet been able to make Angelina understand the embarrassments of her family, over which you have so generously assisted us.
Well, it's been my honour, Your Grace.
You are a noble fellow, Mr. Delapluge, and of course I will ensure she is acquainted with the sacrifices you have made. All I am saying is that young women prate about love and a cottage, and despise advantages which wiser heads than theirs know how to estimate.
I hope you're not implying that my proposal would be unwelcome.
No, of course not. No, you have already pleased her. Your admirable manners must succeed in captivating her, and a fond father's wishes will be crowned on the day in which you enter our family.
Well, you can't say fairer than that, can you? I went in search of the Lady Angelina and found her laughing with the odious Captain Silvertop. When he saw me approaching, he gave a sweeping bow, which might have been interpreted as ironic.
Ah, here is Mr. Delapluche. Lady Angelina, I leave you to the pleasure of his company. I think he may have something of import to convey. Good morning.
Lady Angelina, it's that...
Mr. Delapluche, I know what you're going to ask me, so may I first ask you something?
Yeah, of course, my lady.
Are you sure that it's not Mary Ann Hoggins you want to marry?
My lady?
You adored her once, and now you seem to get jealous when your man James pays court to her.
My lady, he is not worthy of her.
But then she is apparently not worthy of you.
Oh, my lady, the circumstances is changed between me and her. You know I aspire higher. May I be allowed to hope?
Mr. Delapluche, I know you are my father's financial saviour, and for that I am very grateful.
Does that mean yes, Lady Angelina?
I think it does.
Oh, my own! The next day, a certain fashionable gazette announced,
Marriage in high life. We hear that a matrimonial union is on the tapis between a gentleman who has made a colossal fortune from investment in foreign loans and the daughter of a noble earl whose name begins with the second letter of the alphabet. An early day is fixed for this interesting event.
Well, then came the wedding arrangements, which are, as you all know, a matter of considerable import and great expense. The Earl kindly presented me with a picture of Angelina, for which, of course, I paid. She was painted playing a guitar, although I had never seen her within 100 miles of such an instrument. But then, such are the conventions of noble life.
They look ideal.
A greater gathering of jewellers, lace makers, coach builders, upholsterers and wedding cake manufacturers you never saw in all your life. But what did I care whether the wedding cake weighed half a ton, or whether Angelina's uncle, the Right Reverend Lord Bishop of Bullocksmithy, would be able to celebrate our union? For all I thought of was that I was marrying the beautiful Lady Angelina Thistlewood. In retrospect, I think I may have gone a little mad at this point in my life.
Will that do, sir?
Oh, no. Brush them some more. It was the night before the wedding, and I was inspecting my ensemble for the auspicious day. I still can't decide, James. Which waistcoat is it to be? The blush white satin and gold, or the canary-coloured watered silk embroidered in silver?
It's a problem, sir.
It is indeed, James. As you would understand if you were moving among the bon ton.
Which, of course, I'm not.
Which reminds me, are you still paying your attentions to Mary Ann Hoggins?
Yes, sir, but sadly with little success. Her mind seems stricken with a great sorrow. So I'll have to wait till she gets over it.
Well, make sure you always treat her with respect, James, or you'll have me to answer to.
Oh, I take my cue from you, sir, in that as in everything.
Yeah, just keep brushing the coat, James. My sleep was feverish, as most men's is when they're going to be married, or hanged. I kept on running through the arrangements in my head, but somehow what kept me awake was the question of the two waistcoats. Yellow, blush white and silver waistcoats swam before my eyes in endless giddying combinations. But at some point I must have dozed off, for I was awoken by an urgent knocking outside. Mary Ann!
I'm so sorry to intrude so early, Sharp, sir, but I'm the bearer of a letter.
A letter from whom?
Lady Angelina.
James, leave us at once.
Very well, sir.
Now, let's see what my bride has to say. Perhaps she has some final advice on my choice of attire.
I think it might be better if you sit down.
Oh, no. Read me what she's written.
I had all along hoped that you would have relinquished pretensions which you must have seen were disagreeable to me. I hope to have spared us all the painful necessity of the step which I am compelled to take. I have begged my father in vain to spare me. I cannot undergo the shame and misery of the union with you.
Oh!
I did tell you to sit down, Charles. Sorry, sir. There's more. By the time you receive this,
I shall be united to the person to whom, as you must have been aware, my heart was given long ago.
Does she mean Captain Silvertop, Mary Ann?
She does.
Why am I not surprised?
My parents
are already informed of the step I have taken, and I hope in time they will forgive me. So I hope will you. I leave Mary Ann behind me to console you. She admires you as you deserve to be admired, and with a constancy I entreat you to try and imitate. I am sorry it has come to this, but I have no choice but to follow.
Did you know anything of this, Mary Ann?
She told me last night. But please believe me, I had no idea she would say those things about me. They're best ignored.
For the moment, yes. I must find out what's really happened.
Oh, my boy. I'm so sorry.
Sorry because the sale of Squallop Hill has fallen through?
That is not a gentlemanly thing to say.
Yeah, well, maybe I'm not that much of a gentleman.
We did try to dissuade her.
Obviously not hard enough. So where have they gone to?
This item explains it all.
Elopement in High Life. The Authentic Account. Part 4. The mystery is at last solved. This afternoon at 4 o'clock, the hymeneal blacksmith of Gretna Green celebrated the marriage between George Granby Silvertop, Esquire, a captain in the 15th Hussars, and the Lady Angelina Amelia Arethusa Anaconda Antoinetta Thistlewood, daughter of the Earl of Bareacres. After the ceremony, the young couple partook of a slight refreshment of sherry and water. The bride...
My dear boy, I'm so sorry.
You've already said that. No sooner was the news out than I was besieged by all the aforementioned jewellers, lace makers, coach builders, upholsterers and wedding cake manufacturers, all demanding payment.
Monday!
What else, I thought, could possibly go wrong?
Excuse me, sir, but this has just been delivered.
Oh, right, it's from my bankers, Greedy and Sharp. I wonder what they can have to say to me. My dear Mr. de la Pluche, we have to inform you that... Of course, you remember the great crash of 1825, when the market in investment in foreign loans, which had been stretched beyond endurance, collapsed. A great many people were ruined, including my humble self. By the time the creditors had finished with me, there was not a scrap of meat left on the poor bones of my once wealthy self.
Charles, aren't you finished yet?
Nearly, my dear. Nearly. My life was in ruins. No longer de la Pluche, I reverted to yellow plush. My former aristocratic friends shunned me. My former fellow servants rejoiced at my being brought low. Only one person stood by me, and her name may be guessed.
I hope you're going to get a happy ending.
The best of all happy endings. All the same, circumstances would have been hard for us if Lady Angelina had not turned out to be more of a trump than might be expected. She gave Mary Ann £500 on being told that she was planning to get married, in acknowledgement of her faithful service. And she made us a handsome wedding present out of her modest estate, the lease, goodwill and fixtures of the Wheel of Fortune public house near Shepherd's Market.
Nearly opening time, Charles.
Nearly finished, Mary Ann. This was a house doing a very genteel and profitable line of business, and greatly frequented by all the nobility's footmen.
I'm opening the door now, Charles. Here they come.
Good evening, Charles.
Hello, Charles.
Good evening, James.
How you doing? All right.
Evening, Charles.
Hello, Charles.
Good evening, James. And so end the memoirs of Charles James Yellowplush, sometime footman in many genteel families.
The Yellow Plush Papers by William Makepeace Thackeray was adapted for radio by Stephen Wyatt. Charles Yellowplush was played by Adam Buxton, Mary Ann was Annabel Dowler, and Bear Acres was Stephen Critchlow. Angelina was Janice Aqua, Silvertop Inar Mirza, James Gunnar Corthery, and Flimsy Paul Ryder. The director was Jessica Dromgould.
From London, we present Pendennis by William Makepeace Thackeray, dramatised for broadcasting in 13 parts by Howard Agg. Part 1, The Fair Ophelia.
One fine morning in the full London season, as I breakfasted in my club in Pall Mall, Major Pendennis came into the room and sat himself down opposite to me at his accustomed table in the bow window overlooking the Mall. He greeted me affably, and while the waiter went to bring him his toast and his hot newspaper, he surveyed through his gold eyeglass the little pile of letters which had been set ready for him, smiling satisfiedly as he opened and read each one and laid it aside in order by his plate. We were the only occupants of the room that morning, and after reading one note, which seemed to please him especially, the Major removed his eyeglass and looked across at me.
Are you by any chance bidden on Friday, sir?
To where, Major Pendennis?
To Richmond. My lord the Marquis of Steyne is giving a French party at the Star and Garter. I have just this minute received his lordship's invitation. It should be a most agreeable occasion.
Yes.
I take it you will not be there.
I'm afraid not.
I must say I find the London season this year unusually diverting. The difficulty, though, is to accept all the invitations one receives. Here, for instance, are 2 for the same evening. Most annoying, for I should like to go to both. But what am I to do? Am I to dine with Mr. Robert Cutler, the East India director, at his elegant house in Baker Street? Or join the distinguished company at Ealing House? The Bishop of Ealing, you know.
Yes.
Which of the two would you accept?
If you have a preference for dining with bishops...
I have, rather.
Then I should say the choice was simple.
Yes, I suppose it is. A pity, though, for the food and wine at Mr. Cutler's is always impeccably chosen. Ah, what a relief it is to open a letter that one knows will present one with no problems. From my sister-in-law in the country.
Ah.
Pardon me.
Of course.
What? Passion and infatuation. Damn it, the young fool.
You seem to have had vexing news, Major.
Confoundedly vexing. A pretty business altogether. You've heard me speak of my young nephew.
Arthur Pendennis?
The same. My sister-in-law writes to tell me that he's kicked over the traces, the young scoundrel. Have you ever been obliged, sir, to assume guardianship over a young person?
Never.
Then count yourself fortunate. It's a thankless task, I can assure you. I've tried to do what I thought best for the boy, but when you have to fight a doting mother, you fight a losing battle, sir. She's encouraged him to imagine that he's a writer. I told her that she was making a spooner of him and that she'd regret it, and now, by heaven, she's reason to.
Oh, what has happened?
The young rascal has fallen in love.
Is that all?
With an actress. The head of the Pendennis family, going to marry a tragedy queen 10 years his senior. A headstrong boy of 18 going to plunge into a reckless marriage. It's preposterous. Well, just think of my position, sir. I shan't dare to show my face in society. Everyone will laugh at me.
Who is the actress? Do we know her in London?
I've never heard of her. Calls herself Fotheringay, though her real name is Costigan.
Oh, that sounds Irish.
Which makes it even worse. His mother says he is infatuated with her and talks of endowing her with his whole heart and his whole fortune. Ah, romantic balderdash. I shall put a stop to that if it's the last thing I do. Oh, it's deuced annoying. This evening I was to dine with my Lord Bareacres, and now I shall have to give that up and lose my rest and pass the night in an abominably tight mail coach instead of taking pleasure in some of the most select society in England. That, sir, is what comes of being a guardian.
After a dreary and uncomfortable night in the mail coach, Major Pendennis descended at the little lodge gate at Fair Oaks, his sister-in-law's house near the village of Clavering in the west of England. Helen Pendennis greeted the Major anxiously and led him at once into the drawing-room.
How good of you to have come, Arthur.
My dear Helen, you asked me to come.
Yes, I know I did. But to come so quickly, it must have put you to a great deal of inconvenience.
It did, my dear, it did. But never mind about that. Where's Pen?
I think he's in the orchard having his Latin lesson with Mr. Smirk. I've sent Laura to find him. Yeah. When he comes in, do please be careful, Arthur, won't you?
Careful? Of what?
Of how you speak to him.
My dear Helen, he's not a child.
I know he isn't, but at the moment he's very nervous and excitable, and I don't want you to make things worse than they are. Be gentle with him. Be cautious.
I've handled more hot-headed young men than Penn in my time.
Perhaps, but they were in the army. Penn isn't a soldier, Arthur.
The more's the pity. However, we won't go into that. You know my views on that subject.
Yes, indeed.
What we will discuss is Miss Emily Fotheringay, as she calls herself. How did Penn meet her?
He went to the theatre at Chatteris one evening with his friend Harry Foker. Her father, Captain Costigan, was in the audience, and they got into conversation, and he took them around behind the stage afterwards and introduced them to her.
And have you met her?
No, but Penn insisted on driving Laura and me into Chatteris last week to see her in a benefit performance. The play was Hamlet, and she took the character of Ophelia. I confess I was captivated by her. Of course, I didn't know then that Penn was in love with her. He only told me that afterwards.
Love? What does the young colt know about love?
He's been writing poems to her, quite passionate ones.
What?
Some of them have been published in the County Chronicle.
So everyone knows the fool he's made of himself.
He didn't publish the poems under his own name.
Thank heaven for that.
He signed himself Eros.
Eros. Ah, A nice business it all is, I must say. But then you're to blame, Helen. You've encouraged him in this nonsense. All this reading and writing he's wasted his time with. It's not healthy.
Penn has always had literary inclinations. Even at school he had a natural taste for reading. And when he started to write, how could I prevent him?
You've spoiled the lad, Helen. Given him too much license. Now he's paying you back by making a fool of all of us. Well, I, for one, won't let him.
You know I don't want him to marry Miss Fotheringay.
Marry that woman? It's out of the question.
I've always set my mind on his marrying Laura when she's old enough and when he's finished his college career and made his grand tour and is settled in London or the country.
Dazzling the world with his eloquence and learning, I suppose.
He may. I have great faith in him, Arthur.
Because he's your son and you can't see any fault in him.
Perhaps. I certainly don't want him to ruin his chances at this stage. Miss Fotheringay, of course, is an extremely attractive young person. I can see that for myself, and she's talented and comes of a good family.
What family does she come from, I'd like to know?
Penn says they're one of the oldest and most respectable families in Ireland. The Costigans were kings of Ireland.
Who told him that?
Captain Costigan, I believe. He himself was an officer and distinguished himself in Spain. He was a friend of His Royal Highness, the Duke of Kent, and knew the Duke of Wellington intimately.
I don't believe a word of it. The Irish are the greatest liars. They probably come from some hobbledehoy family who made their living out of growing potatoes. It makes me ashamed that a Pendennis should so demean himself as to mix with such people.
Well, I can only think of Penn's happiness, Arthur. Mr. Smirk thinks it would be a most sensible and prudent arrangement to have Miss Fotheringay settled here with Captain Costigan in the Yellow Room and Penn married at 18. Perhaps he's right.
In other words, Penn has talked him round, and half talked you round as well.
No.
Admit it, Helen. You're thinking now how you can possibly make it up to your conscience to let the boy have his own way.
I'm thinking that he is very unhappy, and I am too.
To contradict him, or let him have his wish?
I don't want to let my own personal feelings sway me against what is right for Penn. If he really loves this woman and wants to marry her, who are we to try and stop him?
We're not going to have a Pendennis, the head of the house, marrying a strolling mountebank from a booth. We won't marry into Greenwich Fair. I'm damned if we shall.
Yet if the match is broken off suddenly, I don't know what may be the consequences. I know Penn's temper and the intensity of his affections, and it makes me afraid of what may happen if he's thwarted.
What'll happen? My dear Helen, he won't be the first person to be made miserable by a broken match. I've no doubt he'll suffer a good deal before he gets over the little disappointments. Like I had to early in life. A young woman with £15,000, niece to an earl, a most charming and accomplished creature. A third of her money would have run up my promotion in no time, and I should have been a lieutenant colonel at 30. But it wasn't to be. I was a penniless lieutenant. My parents interfered, and I embarked for India. We suffered, but we recovered. Just as Penn will recover, just as you recovered. You were once, I believe, very attached to your cousin, Francis Bell.
I was in love with Francis, and he was in love with me.
Precisely. But you had to give one another up. He was obliged to marry that disagreeable woman. I forget her name.
Martha Coacher.
Ah.
You know why?
Well, I understand that she threatened to expose him if he didn't marry her.
She did.
And that was the end of it. So, you see, you suffered a disappointment too, Helen.
Yes, for a while I thought my life was finished. But then I've been fortunate. I have Laura to remind me of him.
As you know, I was never in favour of your adopting the child.
How could I refuse? In his last letter to me, just before he died, Francis begged me to take care of her. She was all that was left him. It would have been very heartless of me to say no.
She came of no family. She had only a couple of £1,000 for her fortune. I think my brother John showed great magnanimity in taking her under his roof, considering the circumstances. However, that is no part of our discussion. We were talking about Arthur. I know the world better than you, my dear Helen. And believe me, marriages between people of different rank and age are most injudicious. They produce a great deal of unhappiness. Therefore, you must be guided by my experience.
Oh,
Ah, Pen, my boy.
Hello, Uncle.
How are you? Now come and sit down and tell us all about yourself.
I didn't know that you were come till now.
Didn't Laura find you?
Yes. I mean, until she told me you were here. Is town very full, I suppose?
Very. It's the height of the season.
I wonder you could bear to leave.
I wanted to hear the story.
Story?
Your story. Quite a lot has been happening, I hear.
I have made the acquaintance of a most beautiful and most virtuous lady, of a high family, although in reduced circumstances.
So your mother has been telling me.
I have found the woman in whom I know the happiness of my life is centred. I feel that I can never think about any woman but her.
She is, I understand, some years older than you.
I am aware of the difference in our ages, and other difficulties in the way.
Mm-hmm.
But my affection for her is so great that I feel I can surmount all these, that we both can. She has consented to unite her lot with mine, and to accept my heart and my fortune.
Fortune? How much is that? Has anybody left you some money? I don't know that you are worth a shilling in the world.
You know that what money I have is Pen's.
No doubt, no doubt. You should sacrifice everything for him. We know that. So what it amounts to is that Pen is offering your fortune to this young lady, provided you give it to him, and taking into account that he is only 18.
I know that my mother won't stand in the way of my happiness.
Quite so. But there is reason in all things, my dear fellow.
What do you mean?
I am speaking to you, you see, without the least anger or assumption of authority, such as the law and your father's will gives me over you until you come of age, but as one man of the world to another.
Well?
Well, this being so, I ask you if you think it is reasonable, or if you have the right to take advantage of your mother's lenience and generosity. Remember that you are dependent upon her.
Yes, I know I am.
I think you forgot that when you made an attachment to this young lady.
I did it in the moment of passion. I was not aware of what I was going to say or to do. But now it is said, I stand by it. I can't nor will not go back on my word. I'd die rather than that. And I don't want to burden my mother. I'll work for myself and make my own living.
At what, may I ask?
Oh, I shall find something.
And will Miss Fotheringay take you on those terms?
Oh, I know what you're
mind you, I don't say that she is not the most disinterested of women. She may be. But to be fair, don't you think that your position as a young gentleman of good family and decent expectations may have formed a part of her regard for you?
Nothing you can say will make me forfeit my pledge on her.
Who asks you, my dear friend? No gentleman breaks his word, of course, when it has been given freely. But after all, you can wait. You owe something to your mother, something to your family, something to me as your guardian.
Oh, of course.
Then, as you have made one pledge, my boy, will you make another?
What is it?
That you will make no private marriage, no runaway affair. That you will do nothing clandestine, nothing, without your mother's knowledge.
Pen would never do that.
No, sir. On my word of honour as a gentleman, I will never marry without my mother's consent. I give you my hand on that.
Well said, then.
Bless you.
I'm sure you see the necessity of being perfectly upright and open with your mother in all your dealings. After all, Pen, your mother may in due course submit to this marriage, as she would do anything else you desired and begged for long enough. But you must bear in mind that it could never please her.
Why?
Why? Don't you see what you would be doing?
I should be marrying the woman I love.
And throwing yourself away. With your name and birth, with your talents, with the friends whom I have the honor to possess, I could place you in an excellent position, a remarkable position for a young man of such exceeding small means. You might advance in the diplomatic service. My kind friend Lord Bagwig would, I'm sure, on a word from me, do a great deal for you. But, and pardon me for referring to the subject, but how could you expect him to do that for a young gentleman of 18 who proposes to marry a lady of 30?
Miss Fotheringay is 28.
Well, 28 then, it makes no matter. A lady whom he has selected from a booth in a fair.
It is not a fair.
Well, not a fair, a barn. The diplomatic profession would be closed to you at once. So would public service. So would society. You see, my good friend, to what you would bring yourself.
Well, if I am prepared to face that...
You are going to say that it is your own affair?
Yes.
Quite so. I am not angry. Your downfall will not hurt me. It will only extinguish the hopes I had of seeing the family of Pendennis once more taking its rightful place in the world. That is all. It is only your mother and yourself that will be ruined.
Like a wary and patient man of the world, Major Pendennis did not, for the moment, press the point further. But he decided to remain at Fair Oaks for a while and try to gain his young nephew's confidence and interest him in the life of London as lived in the highest circles, of which, of course, he had many delightful and entertaining tales to tell. To give up London in the spring, to give up his mornings with his newspapers, his afternoons from club to club, his little confidential visits to my ladies, his rides in Rotten Row, his dinners, his stall at the opera, and lock himself up in the country, was indeed a sacrifice. But the Major considered it worth making if by doing so he could rescue Penn from what he regarded as a disastrous marriage. In the meantime, he set himself to gather all possible information about Miss Fotheringay and her father, and here his valet, Morgan, was of great use to him.
Well, Morgan, what news do you bring from Chatteris? Have you found out anything?
I took a turn to the George this morning, sir, to moisten my lips with a glass of ale. They know Captain Costigan there, all right. Don't speak highly of him at all.
What do they say?
Waiters, hostlers, barmaids, I pumped them all. It's the same story. They don't see the colour of his money.
He doesn't pay his bills.
Not if he can help it. They've been warned not to serve him with any more liquor. Now they say he swaggers about the coffee room consuming a toothpick, and looking over the papers and watching out for a likely victim, someone who'll stand him a drink or pay for his dinner.
The man's a sponge?
Sponge is right, sir. With the liquor, too. They had to turn him out into the street the other night. He was that boozed up.
Disgusting.
The only good thing they have to say of him is that he does look after his daughter and won't allow no one to act saucy with her.
And Miss Costigan or Miss Fotheringay, what about her? That's more important.
Pure as a lily, sir. No breath of scandal fans her cheeks.
Oh, they speak well of her.
They say she never goes to the theatre excepting with her father, and they always go home together afterwards.
Where do they live?
In Prior's Lane, sir, just before you come to the theatre. Halfway down the street is a tailor's shop with a brass plate on the door, name of John Creed. They live on the first floor above the shop. And Mr. Bowes lives with them, too.
Oh? Who's he?
He plays the fiddle in the orchestra. They say he's taught Miss Fotheringay all she knows about acting. And having from my own experience seen her act, it's my opinion she's a stunner.
Indeed.
I was uncommon delighted with her performance the other evening, Hamlet. And I happened to get into conversation with young Mr. Henry Foker, a friend of Mr. Harker's, and he was delighted too.
I think I'd rather like to have a talk with Mr. Foker. Is he staying at Chatteris just now?
I don't know, sir, but he seems to have the habit of going into the George of an evening for his dinner. I've seen him there several times.
I think I'll ride over to Chatteris and take a room at the George for a night or two. You better come with me. You might see to it, Morgan.
Yes, sir.
I'll go in the morning. Oh, and reserve me a seat at the theatre for tomorrow evening.
Very good, sir. Pity you won't see Hamlet, though. They're playing Black-Eyed Susan tomorrow.
No matter. I want to see Miss Fotheringay, whatever she's playing.
Yes, sir. I'll see to it, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I trust I'm not disturbing you.
Oh, by Jove, no, sir. I was just having my coffee and reading the evening paper.
If I don't mistake the family likeness, I have the pleasure of speaking to Mr. Henry Foker, Lady Agnes Foker's son. I have the happiness to name her ladyship among my acquaintances.
To whom have I the pleasure of speaking?
To a relative of a friend and schoolfellow of yours, Arthur Pendennis.
I say.
I am Major Pendennis.
Your Penn's uncle.
And his guardian.
He's often spoken to me about you. Delighted to meet you, sir.
Ah, thank you.
Oh, Penn's as good a fellow as ever stepped.
I'm glad you think so.
And clever, too. Not like me. I was always a stupid chap, I was. But I like those who are clever, and I know 'em when I see 'em.
You show your taste and your modesty.
Only one thing wrong with Penn, sir, if you'll forgive my saying so. He's what we call a flat.
Yes, I know the word. But in what way is Arthur a flat?
A flat over women.
Walter, I don't think he's the first of us, my dear Mr. Harry. What?
Yeah, good Lord, no.
But tell me more about it.
Don't you know, sir?
Know what?
About Penn and Emily Costigan.
Oh, that. Yes, I have heard.
It's partly my fault, I'm afraid.
Oh?
I made the mistake of introducing him to Captain Costigan, and he took us round behind the stage afterwards. Well, that started it. Ben met her and went on meeting her, and now he's fallen in love. I'm blessed if he hasn't proposed to her.
And I suppose the whole town knows of it.
You can't keep a thing like that quiet in Chatteris, sir.
No, I'm sure you can't.
We were even discussing it at mess yesterday and chaffing young Darby Oakes until he was as mad as a hatter.
Ah? Then is Mr. Darby Oakes another soupirant?
Another what?
Another admirer of Miss Fotheringay.
Oh, good heavens, yes. We call him Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, and Penn Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays.
Really?
But nothing, mind you, nothing wrong. Oh, no, Miss F is a good deal too wide awake for that, Major Pendennis. Mm-hmm. She plays one off against the other. What you might call two strings to her bow.
I think you seem tolerably wide awake, too, Mr. Foker.
Pretty well, thank you, sir. I'm not clever, perhaps, but I am rather downy.
I think you may be of very great service to me. You are a young man of the world.
I certainly know what time of day it is.
As a man of the world, you will realize that our family is by no means delighted at this absurd intrigue.
I should rather think not. Connection not eligible, too much beer drunk on the premises. No Irish need apply. That I take to be your meaning.
Precisely. The point is, how can we make Penn see his folly? From what you've told me and from what I've heard, he seems to me to be in the hands of a pair of schemers, father and daughter. How can we extricate him?
If only Darby Oakes would propose to her as well, you'd see which of the two Miss F would jump at. If Penn hadn't 2,000 a year when he comes of age...
If Penn hadn't what?
2,000 a year. The captain says he has.
My dear friend, thank you. Thank you. I begin to see now. 2,000 a year. Why, his mother has only 500 a year in the world.
You don't say so.
Arthur hasn't a shilling but what she can allow him.
Then he isn't rich.
Upon my honour, he has no more than that.
By Jove, sir, then there may be a chance.
A chance, Mr. Foker?
Of getting Penn out of this scrape. If the captain and Miss F know the truth...
It shall be my duty to acquaint them of it at once. Are you staying in Chatteris just now?
No, I'm along the coast at Weymouth. I'm down here reading for my little go during the long vacation, but I come over to Chatteris pretty often in my drag.
Will you be here tomorrow?
I think so, sir, but not until noon.
Tomorrow at noon, then, Mr. Foker. May we have a further talk?
At your service, Major Pendennis.
Thank you. You may be of great help to me. I shall be able to tell you then what success I've had in bearding the lion.
The lion?
Captain Costigan.
You mean to call on him?
I do. First thing in the morning.
Oh, he's a regular old scamp, sir, and a boy for the whiskey and water.
So I'm told.
I wish you luck, Major Pendennis.
And I wish you a very good night, my friend. We will see each other tomorrow.
In the first part of Pendennis by William Makepeace Thackeray, dramatized by Howard Agg, the part of Major Pendennis was played by Ronald Baddeley, Helen Pendennis by Joan Matheson, Arthur Pendennis by John Rye, and Henry Foker by John Pullen. The storyteller was Simon Lack, and the Production for the BBC was by Martin C. Webster. From London, we present Pendennis by William Makepeace Thackeray, dramatized for broadcasting in 13 parts by Howard Agg. Part 2, Bearding the Lion.
Major Pendennis had left London hastily and journeyed down by coach to the west of England, to the village of Clavering, to his sister-in-law's house, Fair Oaks. There he had learned of the rash attachment formed by his young nephew and ward, Arthur Pendennis, for Miss Emily Fotheringay, an actress playing in the nearby town of Chatteris. Determined to break this attachment, Major Pendennis decided upon a bold move, none other than to call in person upon the young lady and her father, Captain Costigan, in their lodgings in Chatteris. So one morning, accompanied by a boy to show him the way, the Major walked down the little street near the theatre to the tailor's shop above which the Costigans lived. As he ascended the stairs that led up to the first floor, he could hear a stamping of feet and a great shouting and clashing.
Upon my soul, what a noise! What is happening?
Fencing, Governor. Captain Costigan gives fencing lessons. He's got Lieutenant Darby Oakes with him this morning.
Ah, yes. He comes on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, doesn't he?
That's right, Governor. Oh, sounds as though he's giving the captain a run for his money, doesn't it? Hark at that.
Watch me eyes.
This is the door. Shall I knock?
No, thank you. I'll knock myself. Here you are, boy. And thank you for your help.
Thank you, Governor.
Let's try now. 1, 2.
Touche! I believe I have the honor of speaking to Captain Costigan.
You have, sir.
My name is Major Pendennis.
Major, the honor is mine. I'm delighted to see you. Pray come in.
Thank you.
Allow me to present my daughter.
How do you do, Miss Costigan? Or should I say Miss Fotheringay?
Oh, whichever you like, Major.
Pleased to meet you, sir.
Also my friend, Mr. Bowes.
How do you do, Mr. Bowes?
How do you do? And me gallant young pupil and friend, I may call him, Lieutenant Darby Oakes.
How do you do?
How do you do? Well, I needn't apologize to you, Major, for receiving you in me shirt sleeves.
Indeed you needn't. An old soldier can't be better employed than in teaching a young one the use of his sword.
Indeed.
I remember hearing that you could use yours pretty well, Captain Costigan.
What? You've heard of Jack Costigan, Major?
I have. I seem to have heard of your exploits in,
The Peninsula?
That's it, in the Peninsula.
Yes, sir. I bore His Majesty's colours in the Fighting 103rd, and mighty proud I was to bear them.
I'm sure you were. But we will talk of that another time, Captain Costigan. It is to Miss Fotheringay, to give her professional name, that I come to pay my respects today.
Indeed.
I had heard of your performances from my nephew, madam, who raves about you, as I believe you know pretty well.
And who doesn't rave about me daughter, sir? Ah, she's the finest actress in the world.
Oh, Papa!
Oh, I'm entirely in agreement with your father. I went to the play last night. Permit me to say your performance delighted and astonished me. I have seen our best actresses, and on my word, I think you surpassed them all.
Thank you, sir.
You are as majestic as Mrs. Siddons, and as pathetic as Miss O'Neill. Your snatches of song reminded me of Mrs. Jordan in her best time. When we were young men, Captain Costigan.
Those ladies were great, sir. But what were they compared to Miss Fotheringay? I chose the name, sir.
Really?
I didn't wish me daughter to assume her own name on the stage. Me family, sir, are proud people. And the Costigans of Costigan's Town think that an honest man would demean himself by permitting his daughter to earn her old father's bread.
Very properly.
In those days, sir, I was a fencing master in Dublin. Ah, yes. Once there were only 3 men in the Empire who could touch me with the foil.
Really?
Oh, but Jack Costigan's getting old and stiff now, sir.
I don't notice it.
Ah, you should have fenced with me in those days, Lieutenant. The time I fenced Captain Clancy of the Slashers for looking saucy at Miss Fotheringay. You'd have known the difference then. Yes, me daughter, Major, had an engagement at the theatre in Dublin. And 'twas there that me old friend here, Mr. Bowes, saw her capabilities. He's an uncommon cute man, sir. Aren't you, Bowles?
I know an actress when I see one.
I didn't take the leading parts then. I wasn't fit for it till Bowes taught me.
And neither she was, Major. Bowes gave her lessons in the dramatic art and made her what she is today. Second to none. Second to none, sir.
My congratulations to both of you, to pupil and master.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Indeed, there was a young gentleman in a box last night who was quite carried away. He flung a bouquet of flowers on the stage.
And there he is, sir. Lieutenant Darby Oakes.
Really?
And there are the flowers in that vase on the mantelpiece there.
Carnations. How charming. I admire the tribute, Lieutenant. No actress merited it more.
I am very fond of flowers.
Sweet to the sweet. You know the expression, Lieutenant?
I'm not a literary man. I wish you good morning, sir.
I fear I interrupted your fencing lesson. Forgive me.
Oh, it's no matter. I've got an appointment in the town. Bye-bye, Cos.
Goodbye, Lieutenant.
Miss Fotheringay, good morning.
Good morning, Lieutenant.
Monstrous handsome young man, that. As fine a looking soldier as I ever saw, Captain.
He's a credit to the army, sir, and to human nature in general. A young man of refined manners, polite affabilities, and princely fortune.
Really?
His table is sumptuous. He's adored in the regiment, and he rides 16 stone.
A champion, indeed. I have no doubt all the ladies admire him. What do you say, Miss Fotheringay?
Oh, he's very well, sir, in spite of his weight. But he's no conversation.
He's best on horseback.
Now allow me to offer the hospitality of me house, Major. A biscuit and a glass of wine.
That's exceedingly kind of you.
Millie, me darling, fetch some of the old Madeira, will you?
Yes, Papa.
Me daughter keeps the key of the cellar, Major.
On my word, you have a very beautiful butler. I don't wonder the young fellow's raving about her.
Faith and lucky is the man who gets her. Ask me friend Bob Bowes here whether Miss Fotheringay's mind is not even superior to her person, and whether she doesn't possess a cultivated intellect, a refined understanding, and an amiable disposition. Eh, Bowes?
Oh, of course.
Oh, she's a jewel, sir. There's not another like her in the world.
I'm sure there isn't.
Here comes Hebe blushing from the cellar.
That's all very well, but it's time Miss Hebe went to rehearsal.
Yes, we mustn't be late.
Oh, must you go? Can't you give us a few more minutes of your company, Miss Fotheringay?
I'm afraid not, sir. You see, everyone will be waiting, and we have to pay a fine if we're late.
Even the great Miss Fotheringay.
Then, before you leave us, permit an old fellow to shake you by the hand.
Oh.
And believe that I am proud to have had the honor of making your acquaintance, and am most sincerely anxious to be your friend.
Thank you. It has been an honor for me. Bye-bye, Papa.
Goodbye, me darling. And come straight home, won't you?
Yes, Papa.
Goodbye, Major.
Goodbye, Mr. Bowes. Captain Costigan, I'd like to drink the health of that charming creature who just left us. I never saw such eyes in my life, or such a grand manner.
Oh, a good girl, sir, a good girl. I pledge a toast to her with all me heart.
To Miss Fotheringay.
To me darling Millie. That's a good drop of stuff. As I say, the man who gets her will have a jewel to a wife, sir. And I drink his health too. You know who I mean, Major.
Frankly, I must tell you that though I was very angry with my poor nephew Arthur when I heard of the boy's passion, now I have seen the lady, I can pardon him entirely.
Oh, your admiration for me girl brings tears to me eyes, sir, manly tears. And when she leaves me humble home for your own splendid mansion, I hope she'll keep a place for her poor old father, Jack Costigan.
Your sentiments do you honor. But, Captain Costigan, I can't help smiling at the one thing you have just said.
And what's that, sir?
You were speaking of our splendid mansion. My sister-in-law's house, I presume you mean?
I mean the park and mansion of Arthur Pendennis, Esquire, of Fair Oaks Park.
Fair Oaks Park, my dear sir? You must be under a misunderstanding. Do you know of our history? We are of excessively ancient families, certainly. But I began life with scarce enough money to purchase my commission in the army. And my brother, Martha's father, was a country apothecary who made every shilling he possessed out of his pestle and mortar.
Oh, I've consented to waive that objection, sir, in consideration of the known respectability of your family. Oh, the Costigans, too, have met with misfortunes, and our home of Castle Costigan is by no means what it was.
You are very kind to give us the benefit of your charity. But permit me to say that is not the question.
No?
You spoke just now of my nephew as heir of Fair Oaks Park, and I don't know what else besides.
Funded property, I've no doubt, and something handsome eventually from yourself?
My good sir, how much do you think a major on half-pay can save?
Leaving that aside, sir, I make no doubt my young friend is heir to £2,000 a year on his own.
2,000 fiddlesticks! Oh, I beg your pardon, but has the boy been humbugging you?
Humbugging?
It's not his habit. As executor of my brother's will, I can tell you that he left little more than 500 a year behind him. When my nephew comes of age, he won't have a shilling.
Are you joking with me, Major Pendennis? Are you trifling with the feelings of a father and a gentleman?
I'm telling you the truth. Every shilling my brother had he left to his widow, with a partial reversion, it is true, to the boy. I ask you, as a gentleman and a man of the world, what allowance can Mrs. Pendennis make to her son out of 500 a year to enable him to maintain himself and your daughter in the style befitting such an accomplished young lady?
Am I to understand, sir, that the young gentleman, your nephew, whom I have fostered and cherished as the son of me bosom, is an impostor who has been trifling with the affections of me beloved child? Have a care, sir, how you trifle with the honour of John Costigan. If I thought any mortal man meant to do so, by heaven, I'd have his blood, sir, were he old or young.
Mr. Costigan?
I know how to protect me honour and the honour of me daughter, and will, sir. You see that chest of drawers? There's promises enough in writing inside there to fill a bandbox.
What do you mean?
I mean the letters your young viper has addressed to me innocent child. And when I've dragged the scoundrel before the courts of law and shown up his perjury and dishonour, I've another remedy in that mahogany case, sir. Pistols. Those will set me right with any individual. You mark my words, Major Pendennis, with any individual who has counselled your nephew to insult a soldier and a gentleman. Me daughter to be jilted, and me grey hairs mocked by an apothecary's son, by the laws of heaven, sir, I should like to see the man that'll do it.
I am to understand, then, that you threaten in the first place to publish the foolish letters of a headstrong boy of 18 to a woman of almost 30, and afterwards to do me the honour of challenging me to a duel.
You have described my intentions with perfect accuracy, Major Pendennis.
Well, my good sir, before we come to powder and ball, I ask you to have the kindness to pause and think.
Think?
In what earthly way I have injured you. I have told you that my nephew is dependent upon his mother, who has scarcely more than 500 a year.
Then I have been atrociously deceived by someone, and on that person I'll be revenged.
Is it my nephew? Did he ever tell you his property was 2,000 a year? If he did, I'm mistaken in the boy. To tell lies has not been a habit in our family, Mr. Costigan, and I don't think my brother's son has learned it as yet. As for me, sir, you are at liberty to understand that I am not afraid of all the Costigans in Ireland, and I know quite well how to defend myself against any threat from any quarter.
We'll see about that.
We will, sir. I came here as the boy's guardian to protest against a most absurd and unequal marriage that could only bring poverty and misery with it. I am quite as much your daughter's friend as the friend of my own family in preventing the marriage, and prevent it I will by every means in my power. That is all I have to say.
And I have to say, Major Pendennis, that you shall hear more from me.
Death, sir, what do you mean?
Before you leave Chatteris, a friend of mine shall wait upon you at your hotel.
Let him make haste, Mr. Costigan. I wish you a good morning, sir.
Major Pendennis retreated down the crooked stairs and out into the street in a state of concentrated fury. He had rarely felt so angry. And it was a relief to him to find on reaching his hotel that Mr. Henry Foker, gaily attired in a fur waistcoat with gold chains, was already awaiting him to hear the result of his interview with Captain Costigan. The Major was only too ready to tell him, to tell anyone.
The impudent, bog-trotting scamp dares to threaten me. Dares to talk of permitting his damned Costigans to marry with the Pendennises. Says he'll challenge me to a duel.
By Jove, sir.
Let him. If the fellow can get anything in the shape of a gentleman to carry the challenge, I've the greatest mind not to disappoint him.
Oh, I say, I shouldn't do that if I were you, sir. Oh, think of what people would say if you were to go out with a rogue like Costigan over his daughter.
A tipsy mountebank and an actress in a barn, eh?
Exactly, sir.
You're right. Most undignified. Thank you for pointing it out. I'm obliged to you, Mr. Foker.
Not at all.
He's got it into his wretched head, heaven knows how, that Arthur's rich. He's convinced I'm lying to him.
He's been telling everybody about Penn's fortune. I've heard him. Oh, I thought it was true.
Well, now I've disillusioned him, and he's furious. Says he's been deceived, talks of the injury that we've done him, and worse, threatens to produce all the stupid letters Arthur has written in a court of law and prove perjury against the boy. Breach of promise.
That's bad.
It's confoundedly bad. I dare say he could win his case. Heaven knows what Arthur has said in those letters. Oh, that'd be the deuce of an unpleasant scandal, anyway.
The old ruffian.
I'd like to wring his neck. Nothing would give me greater pleasure. For almost the first time in my life, Mr. Foker, I own to being baffled. I don't know what to do. What would you suggest? You know the man better than I know him.
Leave him to me, sir. I may be able to talk him round.
I'd be uncommonly grateful if you could.
Perhaps you'll do me the honour of taking dinner with me here this evening in my apartment. I can tell you what he says.
It's very civil of you. I should be delighted. Oh, you put me in a better humour already, Mr. Foker.
Well, I hope to add to that humour, sir, this evening.
Me child, me blessed child, prepare yourself, prepare yourself.
What for, Papa?
Doom, dishonour, disaster, treachery, cowardly lying and deceiving.
You're tipsy again, Pa. You promised me you wouldn't take spirits before dinner.
Oh, it's just to drown me sorrows, me poor girl. I just taken a drop to drown me cares that I've drained the bowl.
Your cares take a lot of drowning, Captain. What's happened? Was that soft-spoken gentleman vexed you?
Oh, the oily miscreant, I'll have his blood. Oh, I'll have his villainous skulking life, boys. I'd wipe him off the face of the earth. I'd make him rue the day he ever insulted a Costigan.
Why did he insult you, Papa? And what have you got all those letters of Arthur's out for? Sure, you don't want to be reading over that nonsense poetry and stuff?
Oh, Emily, that boy what I loved as the boy of me bosom is only a scoundrel and a deceiver, me poor girl.
Scoundrel and deceiver, that's nonsense. The lad's as simple as a schoolboy.
I tell you, he's no better than an impostor. He's trifled with your affections and outraged me own fine feelings. He's represented himself as a man of property, and it turns out he's no better than a beggar. 2,000 a year. He hasn't even got 200.
He always said he was poor. You wouldn't believe him, Pa. You would have it that he was rich. Made me agree to take him.
Well, he should have been more explicit and told us his income, Millie. How dare he ask you to marry into a family which hasn't the means of providing for you? Why, you've been cruelly deceived and put upon me, darling, and that old ruffian of an uncle, with his double-faced pall-mall manner, is in the plot against us. I'll have me revenge, boss. I want you to take this letter.
Where to?
To the George Hotel, that's where he's staying. I want you to give it into his own hands. Now, don't forget that. And wait while he reads it, and bring me back his answer. The place he chooses, the time, and the choice of weapons.
Pa!
You don't mean to say you mean mortal combat, Captain?
What the devil else do I mean? I want to shoot that man that has traduced me honour, or myself drop a victim on the sod.
Then you can send somebody else with the message. I'm a fiddler, not a fighting man, Captain.
We are that in no spirit, sir. I'll be me own second if no one will stand by and see me injured. I'll take me case of pistols and shoot him in the coffee room of the George. I'll do it tonight.
You'll do no such thing, Papa. Now sit down and be quiet.
Oh, all right.
And so, poor Arthur has no money. Poor lad, he was a good lad, too, with all his wild talk and nonsense and silly verses. Indeed, I liked him.
Then, if you like him so, why don't you marry him? You know the lad's in love with you.
Well, there's others that loves me as well, Bose, that has money and that's old enough.
Yes, damn it, that are old enough, and poor enough, and foolish enough for anything.
There's old fools and young fools. You've often said so, you silly man. If Pendennis hasn't enough money to live on, it's stupid to talk about marrying him. That's the long and short of it.
And the boy? You throw away a man like an old glove, Miss Fotheringay.
Who's throwing him away? If he had half the 2,000 a year that Papa imagined, or half of that, I'd marry him. But what's the good of taking up with a beggar?
Beggar's the word, Millie. I'm telling you, he hasn't got a shilling.
We're poor enough as it is. So, there's an end to all the fine talk about me being Mrs. Arthur Pendennis at Fair Oaks Park, with me carriages and house in London. But it's always the same. If a man looks at me, you fancy he's going to marry me, Pa. And if he's well-dressed, you think he's as rich as crazes.
As Croesus.
Well, call it what you like, but it's a fact. Papa has married me a score of times these past 8 years. Wasn't I to be Lady Poldooley of Oystertown Castle? Then wife to a naval captain at Portsmouth? Then wife to an old surgeon at Norwich? And who knows how many more?
Oh, it wasn't to be, me darling.
Well, with all your scheming, Pa, I bet you a penny I shall die Emily Costigan at the last. And if I don't, it'll be because I do the choosing next time.
Who's there?
Me, Harry Fogar. How do?
Oh, get out, you funny little man.
Don't you mean come in? Lord, I think I'll go on the stage myself.
What as, Harlequin?
Take a chair there, Mr. Harry.
Stop and have dinner. We've a beautiful beefsteak pudding.
Can't. Dining at the George. Major Pendennis.
May the food poison him.
Oh, come, Captain. The Major's a fine gentleman.
A fine felon, you mean?
The captain's got it against him.
So I've heard. But you do him wrong, Captain. Take my word for it. He's a tip-top swell who moves in the upper circle of society, and the last word in honour.
Dishonour?
He'd never deceive anyone, least of all such a charming creature as Miss Foth.
He seemed to me a proper gentleman, Pa, as neat as a pin and smelt of lavender.
Rather too much of an old buck, perhaps, but all the same, the right sort of fellow.
Well, you won't darken my door again, I'm telling you that.
Now, Pa, be sensible. We've talked it over, and I'm not going to marry Arthur Pendennis. And you're not going to make trouble with his uncle. So leave it at that.
I knew it wouldn't do, Miss Foth. Couldn't do.
What are you talking about?
Arthur Pendennis. Didn't like to put in me or don't speak till I'm asked. But then I speak pretty freely. He's too young for you. Too green. A deal too green. And turns out to be as poor as Job. You can't have him at any price, can she, Mr. Bow?
Poor beggar.
Better break it off at once, Miss Fox.
Suppose he won't break off the engagement. What'll you do then?
It's quite simple.
Trust a woman to know how to throw a man over.
Papa writes to Arthur to know what settlements he proposes to make in the event of a marriage, and asks what his means are. Arthur writes back and says what he's got. Then Pa writes and says it's not enough and the match must be at an end. He can't get out of that.
And, of course, you enclose a parting line in which you say you will always regard him as a brother.
Of course, and so I shall. He's a most worthy young man, I'm sure.
There's another thing, Miss Foth. I don't know whether you've kept any of the letters he sent you, but if you have, don't you think he should have them back?
The devil he won't.
They'd be worth money, wouldn't they, Captain?
And money is what he'll have to pay if he wants them.
Papa, those letters are mine, and we won't have anyone say we behave cheaply. Anyway, they're very long and full of all sorts of nonsense and Latin and things I couldn't understand half of. Indeed, I've not read them all. But, we'll send them back to the poor boy when the time comes.
Oh, Millie, me darling, if that's the way you want things...
I do, Pa.
Then it's not in me rough old heart to refuse you. Take the letters and do what you like with them.
Look here. I've a splendid idea.
Huh?
Major Pendennis has kindly agreed to dine with me this evening in my apartment at the George. And I think after the little shindy this morning, in which I must say the captain was wrong, it would look nice, you know, if you all came along too, as my guests. I know the Major fell in love with you, Miss Foth. He said so.
Did he?
Perhaps you could still be Mrs. Pendennis.
That isn't funny, Bowles.
I didn't mean it to be.
And if you cared to, Miss Foth, you could bring along those letters of Arthur's, and perhaps the Major would have a better idea of the kind of letter the captain should write. We'll have lobster salad and champagne.
I'd go anywhere for lobster salad.
Well, of course you would. Then you'll all come?
Well, Papa?
Oh, well, if you like, me darling.
Bravo! Shall we say 7 o'clock at the George? I'll tell the Major. He'll be delighted.
So it happened that that evening Major Pendennis found himself at dinner in company with a professional fiddler, an actress, and her father, who a few hours before had wanted to blow the Major's brains out. The party passed off with the greatest cordiality and good humour, during which Captain Costigan, considerably lubricated, burst into his favourite song, The Little Pig Under the Bed, called the Major his dearest friend, and ended up by promising to write Arthur the very next day in the way the Major suggested. The following morning, Major Pendennis shook hands warmly with Mr. Foker at the door of the George, thanking him for the very great service he had rendered to the whole Pendennis family, and later the same day returned to Fair Oaks. But he said nothing either to Helen Pendennis or to Arthur as to how he had spent his time in Chatteris or whom he had met. He kept his own counsel and awaited the arrival of Captain Costigan's letter.
In the second part of Pendennis by William Makepeace Thackeray, the part of Major Pendennis was played by Ronald Baddeley. Captain Costigan by Tommy Duggan, Emily Costigan by Beverly Dunn, Henry Foker by John Pullen, and Mr. Bowes by Keith Williams. The storyteller was Simon Lack, and the production for the BBC was by Martin C. Webster. From London we present Pendennis by William Makepeace Thackeray, dramatized for broadcasting in 13 parts by Howard Agg. Part 3, The Primrose Path.
Major Pendennis returned from his visit to Chatteris feeling well pleased with himself. He had succeeded in bringing to an end the engagement between his nephew Arthur and Miss Emily Costigan, and thereby, he firmly believed, had saved the family honour. Captain Costigan had promised to write a letter to Arthur. Indeed, the Major had practically dictated it, that would terminate once and for all the whole absurd business. And now, at Fair Oaks, the Major waited anxiously for the letter to arrive. On the second morning it came, and at the breakfast table Arthur opened it and read it. A flush of anger coloured his expression as he came to the end.
What does this mean?
What's the matter, Pen?
This letter.
Who is it from?
Captain Costigan.
Oh? What does he say?
He says he now realizes for the first time my exact pecuniary circumstances, and they are such that he considers my marriage with his daughter out of the question. Who told him what my circumstances are?
I did.
You, Arthur?
What business had you to interfere between Miss Costigan and myself? What have I ever done that you should behave
Pen,
like this?
Please.
I will speak out. What right had my uncle to go behind my back and influence Miss Costigan against me?
The lady needed no influencing. When she knew how poor you were, she withdrew at once, with no persuasion from me, I assure you.
I don't believe it.
And she was quite right. Apart from everything else, she is 10 years your senior.
As though that matters.
I think it matters a great deal. She is perfectly unfitted to be your wife, and she knows it.
I shall not take your word for that.
Pen.
She will have to tell me so herself before I believe it.
I don't think you've read the whole letter.
What do you mean?
Captain Costigan has no wish for you to visit their lodgings, for some time at least. Doesn't he say so?
I don't care what he says. I shall go and see Miss Fotheringay just the same.
Pen.
No one will stop me.
Of course, my dear boy, if you like to suffer a rebuff, as I assure you you will, that is no concern of mine.
You seem to have made it your concern. You have chosen to meddle in what was not your business.
Please, Pen.
I shall go and see Miss Fotheringay and once more ask her to marry me.
You'll do nothing of the sort. Be a man, and remember that your mother is a lady. She was never meant to associate with that tipsy old swindler and his daughter. Be a man and forget her. Put her out of your mind, as she does you.
I shan't listen to a word you say.
Pen, where are you going?
I'm going to Chatteris to see Miss Fotheringay.
Pen!
Let him go, Helen. He won't succeed in seeing her. Captain Costigan gave me his word on that.
I'm so afraid. You see how terribly upset he is. Oh, Arthur, I wish you hadn't interfered.
My dear good woman, if someone hadn't interfered, what do you think would have happened? Would you have liked to see your son dragged down into the gutter by an adventurous woman and a dishonest father?
No.
I've met them both, and you haven't. Be grateful, my dear, that Arthur's been saved from that fate.
Yes, perhaps. But it distresses me so to see him suffer.
Rather a few weeks of suffering now than years of regret afterwards. Think of that, Helen. Think of the boy's future.
So Pen rushed wildly off to Chatteris to see Miss Fotheringay. But in vain, for he was not even allowed admittance to their lodgings. He left a letter for her at the theatre, but it was returned by Captain Costigan, who insisted that all correspondence must cease. Undeterred, Pen continued to ride over to Chatteris whenever Miss Fotheringay was playing, and sat in a box looking haggard, wretched, and lonely, while from another box Lieutenant Darby Oakes flung bouquets of flowers on the stage and was rewarded with ogling glances. One night, coming out of the theatre, Pen chanced to see the queer little hunched-up figure of Mr. Bowes carrying his violin, walking home along the street. He went up and spoke to him, and together they walked along in the moonlight.
Were you in the theatre tonight?
Yes.
Did you see who was there?
No.
Oh, my word, important company. The great Mr. Dolphin honoured us with his presence.
Mr. Dolphin? Who is he?
Haven't you heard of him?
No.
He's a famous London manager. He was there with his secretary. They say he came down from London especially on the instruction of the Marquis of Steyne.
Oh, I've heard my uncle speak of Lord Steyne.
I expect you have. He's a patron of the theatre. Well, the upshot is they've offered Miss Costigan an engagement.
In London?
Yes. Oh, I always said she'd make her name in London one day when the chance came along. Now it has done. These will be her last nights in Chatteris.
I can't bear to think of it.
Let us sit on the bridge here. I think we may sit on the same bridge, don't you? We've been in the same boat for a long time.
What do you mean?
You're not the only man who's made a fool of himself over that woman. But I have less excuse than you because I'm older. A deal older. And know her better.
You too have been in love with her?
Of course. I still am. Only I know how hopeless and stupid it is to love a woman who has no more heart than that stone you're leaning on.
Don't say that.
That's true, my young friend. If this stone, or you or I, were to fall into the water and never come up again, she wouldn't care.
Oh, yes, she would.
No, well, she might care a little for me because I can still be of use to her. I can go on teaching her as I've taught her from the beginning. You should have seen her when I first saw her on the stage. Oh, she had a few stock gestures, looks and tones of voice which she used in whatever part she was playing. She rolled her eyes at the same moment and in the same way. For comedy or tragedy, it didn't matter which. Then she went home to a mutton chop and a glass of brown stout and snored like a porter all through the night. Oh, she still likes her chop and her stout, but now she knows how to act, thanks to me.
She always says that you've made her what she is.
She says a lot of things and means only a quarter of them.
Why did you take all this trouble?
I was attracted by her beauty. I didn't know then that she has no heart and no head, No sense and no feelings, no griefs or cares whatever.
Then why do you bother with her?
Well, it's become a habit with me now, like taking snuff or drinking drams. I can't do without her. But she can't do without me. She won't be able to get on alone. She'll be forced to send for me from London.
And if she doesn't...
Well, then I shall follow her. But she'll send for me, all right. She needs me. Well, that is until one day when she'll marry and fling me over like I fling the end of this cigar into the water. Look, the little spark soon fizzles out, doesn't it?
As Penn rode home that night, he was actually thinking about somebody other than himself for the first time for many weeks. And the crabbed, homely little old man, with his hopeless devotion, haunted his mind. In the drawing room at Fair Oaks, his mother and his uncle sat waiting for him to return.
He's never been as late as this before. I'm worried, Arthur.
You're like a hen, my dear Helen, fussing over your one chick.
I can't help it. I know his state of mind. If he goes on like this, I'm frightened he'll make himself ill.
Oh, half a fellow's pangs at losing a woman come from vanity more than affection. Once Miss Fotheringay is gone from Chatteris, he'll quickly forget her. Out of sight, out of mind, you know.
But there's no sign of her going.
Well, it will not be long now.
How do you know?
Because I've already taken steps to remove her.
Arthur! How?
I happen to be on the very best of terms with the Marquis of Steyne.
Yes, I know.
And I wrote his lordship a letter saying that a young friend of mine had gone wild about a certain actress in the theatre here, and I should appreciate it if an engagement in London could be found for her. And 2 days ago I received a most agreeable reply from his lordship, saying that he'd asked his friend, Jeremy Dolphin, one of the most important theatrical managers in London, to go down to Chatteris at once and see Miss Fotheringay and engage her.
And did he?
I stressed, of course, that she was a handsome woman, and, in my opinion, as good an actress as many we see in London. So, my dear sister, when Dolphin arrives, our worries will be at an end.
I hope so.
Penn will soon forget her. You will be able to renew your tranquil existence, and I, thank heaven, shall be able to return to London.
Oh, Penn.
Hello, Mother.
Oh, my boy. What sort of a time have you had this evening? Were you at Chatteris?
Yes.
Is the town busy?
I think so.
Were you with Harry Foker?
No, I was alone.
Oh, you should cultivate the friendship of that young man, Penn. He can be of great use to you when you go up to Oxford in the autumn. He knows the very best young men now at the university, and he'll be able to introduce you to them. That will be of great advantage to you in your later career.
How proud your father would have been, Penn, to know that you were going to Oxford, to have the kind of education that he could never afford. Doesn't that make you happy?
I'm grateful, of course, Mamma.
So you should be, my boy. To send you to Oxford will mean a considerable sacrifice on your mother's part.
Oh, I don't look on it as a sacrifice, Arthur, but as a joy. Besides, there is something laid aside for that very purpose. Your father insisted on that pen as an insurance for your college education. I remember we used to call it AEF.
Hey.
Arthur's Education Fund.
Yeah.
And I've kept adding to it ever since.
You showed good sense, Helen. It's a very bad policy to stint a boy at the beginning of his career and put him on a lower allowance than his fellows.
Well, Penn won't start with that handicap. There should be quite a considerable sum for you, my dear, when you begin.
Thank you, Mamma.
And, naturally, I shall use all my influence to help you.
Thank you, Uncle.
I can introduce you to the right people and see that you're fortified with good friends and gentlemanly habits. That should assist you when the real struggle comes, when you have to face the world and fight it.
I have no fear but that Penn will do that boldly.
I shall try to, Mamma.
So you are happy at the thought of going to Oxford, Penn?
I am happy at the thought of starting a new chapter of my life, Mamma. I am tired and weary of this one.
So, in due course, the time came when one autumn evening, The mail coach, with echoing horn and blazing lamps, drew up at the little lodge gate of Fair Oaks, and Penn's trunks, neatly labelled Arthur Pendennis, Esquire, containing his clothes, books, and linen, were hauled on the roof. After embracing his mother and Laura, he stepped inside, and the carriage lumbered onwards on its long journey to London. Penn had embarked on a new chapter of his life. In London, he passed a few days with his uncle at Major Pendennis's lodgings in Berry Street, and there he was given advice on quite a number of things.
Lady Runnymede has requested the pleasure of our company on Friday evening at dinner in Grosvenor Street.
Oh.
I met her ladyship the other day and told her you were staying with me. You must have a new waistcoat for that, Pen.
Must I really?
Undoubtedly. You must make a good impression, my boy. And having obtained entree into Lady Runnymede's house, it behoves you to keep it. You must mind and never neglect to call at Grosvenor Street when you come to London.
I won't, I promise you.
Also, I recommend you to read up carefully before Friday in Debrett, the genealogy of the Earls of Rocherville, Lady Runnymede's ancestors. You'll find the volumes in my bookcase.
Thank you, Uncle.
This will enable you to make some trifling allusion to her family, something historical, neat and complimentary, and that sort of thing. You have a poetic fancy. You can do that pretty well.
I'll certainly try to, sir.
Remember, too, my dear Arthur, that the premier pas in life is the most important of all, and that with a good entree, it is just as easy for you to have good society as bad.
Yes, I'm sure it is.
Also, that it costs a man no more trouble en soin to keep a good footing in the best houses of London than to dine with some cheapjack in Bedford Square.
Oh, I'm sure.
Of course, you must be properly introduced. You must be a member of one or two of the best clubs. I shall make it my duty to enter your name at once on the candidates list and get someone notable to second you.
Thank you, Uncle.
That means that you will come up for ballot in about 3 years.
Oh, so long?
That will be time enough, my boy. By then you'll have taken your degree at Oxford and be ready to enter London society. I have great hopes for you, Pen. Great hopes.
I shall try to justify them, sir.
You will, my boy. You will.
The bells in Oxford ring from morning tide till evensong, and it was from his seat in the coach that had brought him from London that Penn first heard this magical sound, and looked with delight and eagerness at the towers and pinnacles of the enchanted city rising calm and stately over the gables and antique rooftops, and at the busy streets in which gownsmen and freshmen, with books tucked under their arms, hurried along from college to college. It was a moment he never forgot. However, I do not intend to describe Penn's early days at Oxford. They had their ups and downs, and increasingly there were more of the latter. Although his tutors were disarmed by his frank and manly bearing, at the same time they could not help voicing their displeasure at his idleness and extravagant way of life. His friends had noticed it too, and none more so than Henry Foker, who had introduced Penn to all his fashionable acquaintances at Oxford, only to find himself left far behind. Envy was not at all in his nature, and one day, out of sheer good-heartedness, he decided to speak to Penn and risk a snub.
You're going too fast, old chap. You can't keep up the pace. It'll kill you.
One must do in Rome as Rome does.
Yes, but there's a limit. You're living as if there was no end to the money in the family stocking. Look at the clothes you've bought.
Well, everyone has to have clothes.
But not so many, or such gorgeous ones. How many velvet waistcoats have you? And embroidered cravats and pink hunting jackets and heaven knows what else.
I don't know, I haven't counted.
And all your rings and jewellery. And look at all your bins of claret and champagne.
Well, I have to give dinner parties, and everybody drinks claret and champagne now.
You oughtn't to give dinners. You ought to eat 'em. Fellas are glad to have you. No dinner or supper party's really complete without you. And you oughtn't to owe bills for hunting either. You ought to ride other chaps' nags.
Well, I can't do that all the time, Harry.
And where were you last night?
Last night?
Oh, I was at Ringwood's, playing a little quiet 21.
Yes, by all account, it wasn't so quiet. John Straker told me you lost 20 guineas in no time.
Yes, I did.
Those chaps will win your money as soon as you sport it. You don't catch me playing with them. I'm not up to their weight, and neither are you.
Oh, hang it all. One must have amusement, Harry. One must try one's hand at things.
The trouble is you try too many. Hunting, betting, boat racing, smoking, drinking, books, pictures.
I can't help it if I have a taste for reading and art. It gives me pleasure to collect rare editions in beautiful bindings and have Rembrandt etchings on the walls of my room. It's part of my education, what I came to Oxford for.
I thought you came to study, Pen, and win prizes.
Well, that as well.
And how many have you won, Pen? Everyone backed you for the Greek Ode and the Latin hexameter prize. But you didn't get them. You let two chaps walk off with them who don't know half as much as you.
I'm not good at exams. Well, some people aren't.
Like me. I shall be plucked for my little go, and the governor will blow up like a grampus, and I shall have a beastly time till he gets his second wind. But then, I'm not clever. You are, Pen, and it's you I'm anxious about.
You've no need to be, Harry. I shall surprise you in the end.
Well, don't leave it too long, Ben, will you?
But Penn took no heed and persisted in his life of brilliance and pleasure. He took to playing dice. He made trips to London with a number of boisterous young blades and frequented the theatres and taverns. He drank in the morning and beat the town at night. And, of course, all the time he was spending more money and plunging himself deeper into debt. Then, in his third year at college, came the degree examinations. And where was Penn, the wit and dandy, the poet and orator? As the lists came out, he was nowhere to be found. He had slunk out of Oxford and taken the night mail to London, to his uncle's apartments in Berry Street.
Good heavens, Mr. Arthur. Well, what has happened, sir? You look proper awful.
Is my uncle at home, Morgan? I want to see him.
Well, the Major's just dressing. He's in his bedroom.
Then tell him I'm here, will you?
I'll go and call him now, sir.
What's going on, Morgan?
Oh, it's Mr. Arthur, sir.
What? Why, Ben, my boy.
Hello, Uncle.
You've come out from Oxford deuced early, haven't you?
I came by the night mail.
Ah, have you had your breakfast?
No.
Then we'll have it together. We'll have it now, Morgan.
Very good, sir.
You look a bit pale and piggy, Pen. What's the matter? Not feeling well?
You'll see it in the papers at breakfast, sir.
See what?
See the reason for my looks. My name isn't there.
Hang it, why should it be?
Oh, I've lost everything, sir. My honour's gone. I'm ruined. I can't go back to Oxford. I haven't got my degree. I'm plucked. I went in for the examination and failed.
Did you now?
I wonder you can look me in the face.
Oh, come, my boy. That's no way to talk. I must own that I expected better things of you, but there's no great misfortune in this, and no dishonour as far as I can see. You tried your best and you didn't succeed. Well, then you must try again.
How can I after such a humiliation? How can I possibly go back there?
You don't want to show the white feather, do you?
It's not a question of that, sir. My failure isn't the only reason I can't go back. There are other reasons.
Oh? What are they?
I hardly dare tell you. I'm in debt.
For how much?
I don't know what you'll say.
Come, my boy, make a clean breast of it. How much do you owe?
About £700.
What?
It's dreadful, I know. But I've brought all my bills and a list of my liabilities.
Let me see it. Tailors, haberdashers, jewellers, bootmakers, wine merchants, livery stables, bookshops, hotels. Why, damn it, there's no end to it. Have you taken leave of your senses?
I've been extravagant, I know,
Extravagant? You've been mad. That's the only word for it, mad.
Well, you needn't press a man when he's down,
And
sir.
who's going to pay these bills, I'd like to know?
My mother won't like to see me dishonoured, sir. I know she'll pay these accounts, but I shall ask her for no more.
I should think not, indeed. You've spent all this money, and what have you got to show her for it? Nothing. Not even your degree. Think of the sacrifice your mother's made.
You've no need to remind me. I've thought of nothing else.
Ah, well, you are of age. I'm no longer your guardian, and I wash my hands of your affairs. But you can't live without money, and you've no means of making it that I can see, though you have a fine talent for spending it. What, I'd like to know, do you intend to do now?
I shall write my mother and tell her everything. I shall ask her forgiveness and say that I want to return home.
And ruin her before you're 5 years older.
I shall not do that, sir.
Fine words, my boy.
I shall prove them. In the meantime, I shall not burden you with my presence. I shall go now to an hotel and wait there until I receive my mother's reply.
Poor Pen. How dreadfully upset he sounds, Laura.
Why should he feel disgraced by not getting this silly degree, Mamma? Is it so important?
I suppose it is.
Very likely some of the masters were jealous of him and had favourites of their own whom they wanted to put over his head. Or perhaps Pen offended some of the examiners and they took a mean revenge on him.
I'm sure the real reason is that he was made ill by thinking of all those miserable debts.
As though they matter.
But what could one expect? Pen has been thrown into expensive society, and who can blame him if he's been obliged to live on that level?
Indeed.
Of course, the debts must be paid.
Mamma?
Yes, my dear.
You know that I've been living here with you for 10 years, ever since I was 6 years old.
Yes.
Well, in all that time, you've never taken any of my money. You've treated me as though I was a charity girl.
I've looked upon you as my own daughter, Laura.
I know you have, and I've loved you for it. But I'm not really your daughter. You just adopted me. And I don't like being under an obligation.
Obligation?
Yes. I'm proud, Mamma, and I don't like being beholden to anyone.
How could you be beholden to me, my love?
If I'd gone to school, which I wouldn't, it would have cost me at least £50 a year. Well, 10 times 50 is 500. You saved me £500. I owe you that.
Nonsense.
I know you've put that money into the bank at Chatteris for me, but it doesn't belong to me. It's yours, Mamma, and I want you to give it Pen to help pay his debts.
My dear Laura.
Please do as I say, Mamma. It will make me so happy. Then Pen won't have to worry any more. Will you write and tell him?
I will, my love. I will write and tell him of your wonderful, sweet and generous offer. I know how much he will think of it.
And tell him that we are waiting for him, that he must hurry from London by the very next coach.
So, on a morning when the sun rose gloriously over the purple hills of Clavering, and the birds began to sing and pipe cheerfully amid the trees and glistening evergreens on Fair Oaks lawn, the mail coach with its echoing horn whirled up to the little lodge gate and stopped, as it had stopped on a night 3 years before, and from it Pen stepped down, and 2 figures standing beneath the trees rushed forward to embrace him. The prodigal had come home.
In the third part of Pendennis by William Makepeace Thackeray, dramatized by Howard Agg, the part of Major Pendennis was played by Ronald Baddeley, Arthur Pendennis by John Rye, Helen Pendennis by Joan Matheson, and Mr. Bowes by Keith Williams. The storyteller was Simon Lack, and the production for the BBC was by Martin C. Webster.